Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to From Daydreams to Destinations. And I am super excited today to have, I will say, my friend and business associate. So I'm very, very happy to have Brian Snow with us this afternoon or evening, depending upon, or morning, depending upon where you're watching. This is our featured guest for the day, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm grinning from ear to ear because we already talked earlier. So I'm gonna let him share like his news and all that jazz, and I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. Without further ado, Brian, why don't you tell our members in our group where you're calling from? Because this is a travel group. So where are you in the world?
I am in the state of Indiana. I am originally from Chicago, Illinois,
Okay.
and wife and I and daughter are parked about an hour south of Indianapolis, Indiana. And we have lived here for a while. We used to live in North Carolina. I have also lived in Minnesota, spent most of my time in Chicago, spent some time in Ohio, even spent some time out west, out in Great Falls, Montana for a little bit. Trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do in life. Broadcast microphone wouldn't leave me alone. And
Well,
I thought for years, if I get away from the microphone, then maybe the people that have said to me, you need to find a real job, maybe that will kick into high gear. Wrong. It just kept pulling at me and said, look, my microphone and my broadcast agent said, look, your voice is necessary. Wrong again. Boy, I didn't realize how much I was needed until I started mentoring a lot of young broadcasters. In fact, there is one who goes by the name of Connor Klingon, who is a very dear friend of mine. He thanks me for giving him his first chance when we were covering different teams in the Chicagoland area. So I decided to mic him up and see what he sounds like. And since then, his career, God bless him, has taken off. And we've actually had the chance to share the microphone a couple of times. And I've actually had the pleasure of having him on my show with a segment I do called Mic to Mic, where I interview different broadcasters. He has been on a few times, and it's always a blast talking to him. Talking to my friend Victor, who's been on a few times, Shane Lake, my producer, my co-host, and how I got the show started back in 2013 was an all-out dare because I had a friend who was listening to me talk sports with some folks. We were in Starbucks, as a matter of fact, on State and Adams in downtown Chicago. I got a tap on the shoulder and someone says, I dare you to put your opinions out there. I looked at him and I said, you don't want me to do that. He said, all right, I'll incentivize it for you. Go for it. You put your opinions out there in the form of a show, I'll see if I can nab a couple of sponsors for you. You're on. Bam.
wow.
2013, I plugged in a mixer, a headset microphone, and a laptop, and went off of an idea, and off to the races we went with Snowman in the morning.
Wow. Okay, so I just want, because some of our members, they don't know who you are. I know you as Brian Snow, and
Yep.
then Snowman.
Yep.
Okay, so let's rewind the tape just a little bit to bring my members up to speed. So we know that you're in Indiana. I can't say it like the Snowman, but so kind of recap, how did you arrive at coming up with Snowman in the morning? Like, I know you started out with the mentorship, but like, how did that journey start?
Well, back home in Chicago, it started with me listening to Chicago Bulls games. And the fellow who lit the light in me to become a broadcaster was the late, great Jim Durham. Because they were handling the broadcast for the Bulls. Beginning in '86, Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr got together, and they had changed radio stations at the time. So I locked it in on my radio, and I listened to. I honestly listened to no one else when it came to doing radio basketball. It was always Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr, and they're the standard for me. Even though there are a lot of people since then that said you could listen to this guy, listen to this guy. And I know a few NBA radio broadcasters. In fact, one of them is one of my best friends, Bill Schoening. But we share the same view on Jim Durham. I mean, in Chicago, if you were listening to Bulls games on WFAQ back in the 80s and then later WLUP, you heard Jim Durham's voice.
Right.
You knew who Jim Durham was, and you knew what he brought to the table for every Bull game.
Okay.
I had a simple philosophy when I would listen to him. If Jim Durham can do it, I can do it.
All right. Okay. That's an easy philosophy. So you're doing that. So that's what you're doing now. Okay. So Snowman in the Morning, that concept, where did that come from? I mean, I know the history, but like when you decided to do that.
I've listened to so many sports talk hosts over the years, radio and television. But I got hooked on Mike and Mike in the Morning when it was on ESPN Radio.
Yes.
And I said, I'd love to do a show like that. Well, that's where Snowman in the Morning came from. It came from Mike and Mike in the Morning.
Okay.
I figured Snowman's my nickname. I do have a morning sports show, and I wanted to do it like them. I said, why not? Try it and see if it sticks. It stuck.
Well, there we go. Well, see, dreams do come true. I keep trying to tell people.
It does. We are now, I can't believe how incredible this is going to sound, but today we launched the 12th season of Snowman in the Morning.
Congratulations.
Which is crazy because when you go through something like this, when you act on your own idea or you get a nudge from somebody that gives you an idea that you have been thinking about but they voice out loud, there's a stack of people that want you to quit. There's a stack of people that want you to, hey, you're not supposed to do that way. You're not supposed to do that or do it that way. You're supposed to do it this way. And you finally turn and look at him and you go, you know what? I like my way better. And walk off.
Yes. Mic drop.
So there you go. There's a mic drop. So that's what I did. I kept leaning into what I do and what I love to do. And I told him, I said, I walked off.
I'm sorry about that, Brian. I'm sorry I had some technical difficulties. I'm sorry, but I'm recording and I heard you, but I apologize for that.
Right.
That's what happens when we're live. I know.